has been forgotten is that calories in and calories out are linked. So if people eat less and move more, generally by adopting a low-fat diet and eating frequently, then they create an energy deficit and they will lose weight in the short term. So all diets are successful in the short term, but what people forget is that calories out don't keep stable. So if people are eating frequently and they're basing their meals on carbohydrate, insulin levels are high. Insulin is an energy storage hormone. So if they're storing that energy and they have dropped their calories to around, someone needs 2,000 calories and they drop their calories to 1,500. If their body is storing that energy, then there isn't the energy available for them to use. So what does the body do? It then compensates, conserves calories and slows down. So the basal metabolic rate slows down to 1,500 calories. So someone's taking 15 calories in and their metabolic rate drops to only burning 1,500 calories. So what happens to that weight loss? It plateaus. And the person doesn't understand that, so they go, I've stopped losing weight. What's happened? They may be really, really motivated and further reduce the calories to, say, 1,200 calories.
And now they're miserable too.
And they're probably cold. They're probably cold because the basal metabolic rate has dropped down. And eventually that will work for a short period of time. But then their basal metabolic rate will drop to 1,200 calories. So they'll plateau again. And so it's a matter of willpower. And when the willpower breaks, then they'll start consuming the foods that they've missed. And so then they experience weight gain. So the after story from a reduced calorie diet is often weight regain beyond that they were at the start of the diet. But people blame it on themselves and they say, it's my fault, I didn't try hard enough. So next time that they want to lose weight, they do exactly the same. Now what's happened is called metabolic adaptation. What has happened is their basal metabolic rate has dropped. So their energy expenditure has dropped down due to dietary starvation mode. And that's because people have reduced their calories without considering what they're eating. So how do we turn that around is that we educate people to reduce their insulin levels. It's like unlocking the padlock on their energy source. So I have got 110,000 calories of fat stored in my body. I'm quite lean.
She's very lean.
My body percentage fat is around 20%, and so, but that gives me 110,000 calories of fat in my body. I should never go hungry. I should never be tired because I should be able to access my fat stores. So I've not had breakfast this morning, so currently I'm fueling off fat. As soon as I eat, if I had some carbohydrate, then my insulin levels will increase and I will then store that carbohydrate, and so I would no longer then be utilising my fat stores. So the more that people can drive their insulin levels down, the more they can access their fat stores.
So rather than counting calories and restricting calories, it's your view that people just need to keep their insulin down continuously?
Yes.
So how do we do that?
So it's what you eat and when you eat. So carbohydrate is the only nutrient that directly increases insulin levels. So having carbs to tolerance, and we've probably all got a different tolerance rate. But also it's considering other factors in the life as well, like sleep and stress. So sleep deprivation, being chronically stressed, increases stress hormones such as cortisol. And what cortisol does is tells our body, especially our liver, to release energy to cope with that stress. The energy release is normally glucose. So we break down our glycogen stores and release glucose. And the liver has got potential to release around 600 grams of glucose in a 24-hour period. So even if people aren't consuming carbohydrate and they're on a low carbohydrate diet, if they're very stressed, not sleeping well, it could be as though they're on a high carbohydrate diet. So even if they're not feeding on carbohydrate, their body is releasing carbohydrate from their glycogen stores, but also making carbohydrate from protein and fat. So every 100 grams of protein somebody eats, they could make 56 grams of glucose. For every 100 grams of fat somebody eats, they could make 10 grams of glucose. So the body, that's why carbohydrate isn't an essential nutrient, because if we don't eat carbohydrate, then we can make it. And so if somebody's got high levels of cortisol, stress hormones, constantly throughout the day, their body's going to be making a lot of glucose. So we need to look at the body holistically. We need to look at our lifestyle. So the top tips really is carbohydrate tolerance.
How will they know their tolerance?
Well, if people are meeting their health goals, so they are, obtaining and maintaining a healthy weight, if they, have healthy blood glucose levels, then it's likely that they're eating carbohydrates to their tolerance level. But if people are struggling with their weight, if they are told that they've got pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes, that suggests that they're eating carbohydrate beyond their carbohydrate tolerance rate.
If they were testing their blood glucose, and I have a blood glucose monitor at home that I just occasionally use to see what my blood glucose is after a particular meal, what figure is too high?
So a level below 5.6 or below is considered healthy.
After eating? 5.6?
Fasting, this is fasting.
Okay.
So a fasting level, so fasting first thing in the morning, a level of 5.6 or below is considered really healthy. Pre-diabetes is 5.6 or above, up to 6.9, and diagnostic of diabetes is 7 or above.
Okay, so if you were going to eat something and then wait an hour or so and then test your blood glucose to see your carbohydrate tolerance, what would be too high?
Well, normal blood glucose levels is between 3.5 and 7.8.
Okay.
So, down to, so before eating, kind of having a level 3.5, up to 4, 4.5 is absolutely fine. And then 1 or 2 hours after eating, you really don't want it seeing above 7.8 or 8. We used to test people with the oral glucose tolerance test, and at 2 hours, if that level was above 11.1, that was also diagnostic of diabetes.
Okay.
YouTube viewers, I really appreciate you watching that video. It would be wonderful if you hit the red subscribe button. It costs you nothing and it means that you'll get notified whenever I post a Health Hackers video. You can follow me on social media too. Handles right beneath me. I love hearing from you. Bye bye.